And alongside fellow Conservative MPs Alicia Kearns and Neil O'Brien, Peter Bedford will today present a petition with more than 12,000 signatures to City Hall against what they describe as the land grab. And Peter Bedford MP joins me now. Good morning to you, Peter. Isn't this all just a little bit too late as the City Council approved their plan last night?
Good morning, Emma. No, it's not, because the various councils have all submitted their own bids. Earlier in the year, in January, I actually made the case that any bid that goes to government should be decided on by local people. And that's precisely why I've tabled those amendments to the English Devolution Bill on Monday, because I believe it's local people, not civil servants in Whitehall, that should make the final decision on this.
And what about that referendum then, Peter? The government has already said it won't happen.
That's right. I've written to government ministers, both the previous Secretary of State and the current one, and at the moment they're still saying they will not grant referendums. I think that's an absolutely ridiculous situation. Given that local councils have to hold referendums if they increase council tax beyond a certain level, why is it that they're denying local people a say and the final decision in any restructuring of their boundaries?
So if you have a look at it, what is your preferred political map? How does that look?
So I served as a county councillor for 8 years on Leicestershire County Council before being an MP. So I know quite a bit about this subject, and I do understand that we do need to make sure there are savings in local government. I've looked at all the different models, and the two models that appeal to me most are the North City South model, which would create 3 separate unitaries, all about the same size, delivering local services. You have 2 county ones and the city one in the middle of that. And the county council submitted its own bid for a single county unitary. Again, I'm very sympathetic to that bid, because that would ensure that the city boundaries stay on their current existing boundaries. However, as you say, the city mayor has submitted, I guess, 2 bids. One that would see the city massively expand, particularly towards Blaby, Harborough, Oakley and Wigston. And that's why Alicia, Neil and myself are so animated about this, because I've got many villages, Kirby Muxloe, LFE, that border the city, that simply do not feel an affinity with the city's problems, but they want to keep their good county services.
And you've mentioned a couple of those places there. You represent the likes of Anstey and Birstall and Braunston Town. They're all areas likely to be within the proposed city boundaries. What do you think to places like that being involved and included?
Well, I've actually, because the government denied a referendum on this, I launched my own consultation earlier this year. I've written to thousands of residents. I've had over 3,500, 4,000 responses from residents. And by a country mile, 2/3 of them prefer the North City South model. 1/3 of them prefer the county council's model of a single county unitary, and only about 2% support the city council's position of creating an expanded city. So quite clearly, the residents in my constituency are totally against the city land grab.
And today we mentioned you're going to present this petition with more than 12,000 signatures to City Hall against what you've described as the land grab. Is it all just a bit tokenistic, Peter?
No, because we want to ensure that people's voices are heard. My constituents won't have a final say through a referendum, as I've just said. So it's important that the city mayor, the government ministers understand that county residents do not want to be part of the city. The education provision in the county is better. The social services in the county is better. We don't want our services to decline.